Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. Today I'm going to tie another of William Bayard Sturgis flies, and this is from his book, and this is a olive badger, and this hook sizes are 12 and 13, so 12 and 14 for us, remembering that this the William Sturgis, his father was a veteran of the Civil War, so this book is pretty darn old. And our hook sizes are obviously different than it was back in when he wrote this book, 20s or 30s or whatever. I think this was published in 40 something. But anyway, I have a size 14 hook in the vise. I'm going to use some olive thread, some dark olive thread, and the materials. What did I do with that feather? The materials are going to be olive floss and a badger hackle. There it is. So we're going to get started here. This is going to be a really quick fly. We're just going to get a base of thread down, and we're going to bring it to the back of the hook there. And we'll break off the excess. Now we're going to take our badger hackle, and I'm going to take the tail from this one that I'm going to actually use for the hackle. And we're going to just stand those up, take them off at a 90-degree, pinch them, and then I know the tips are aligned because they always are when you do that, and we're just going to tie that in. And there we have our tail. I'm going to take a wrap underneath the tail just to be sure that it's going to stand out, stay up. Now I'm going to take my olive silk, olive floss here, and I'm only going to take one piece. This is a 4-strand. I'm just going to use one strand of it. I'm going to tie this in. I'm going to run it across my tongue just to, that helps to keep it from getting fuzzy, or your rough fingers pulling it apart and fraying it. And when you're tying flies, you don't need a lot to hold them in. Like I just did 3 wraps on the hackle, or about 5 wraps on the hackle, and I did 3 wraps on the body material on the floss there. Now I'm going to take my badger hackle. I'm going to stand them up at the 90-degree, and I'm going to trim them off, give them the hit crew cut. And flip them over. And you notice I'm going against the grain with my scissor cut. I'm going to tie that in. I'm going to leave a barbel or two of the crew cut exposed, and I'm going to bring my thread up to the front, and now I'm getting many wraps on all of my material. So you don't have to put 20 wraps on one and then 20 wraps on the next material. It'll get there. We're going to leave that thread about 1 eye length from the eye of the hook. Now if you have a rotating vise, not necessary, but if you do, go ahead and just rotate your vise and wrap that body. This is very much like a Griffith's gnat, but it's going to be a badger. And we're going to tie that off. And you can see where it frayed there a little bit. Try to grab them and get them all to the front. There we go. You can fold it back and put a couple of wraps on top of that. And go ahead and trim that down. Then I'm going to just kind of cut off those couple frayed pieces. It's kind of hard to not fray. Now we're going to take our hackle and we're going to palmer this. Now, because there's no long hackles there, you can see those couple of longer crew cut ones, but because we have the crew cut exposed, we're not going to have any hackle shooting out towards the back. But I'm going to get my first wrap there nice and close on the back, and then I'm going to wrap 1, 2, 3, 3.5 to 4. And there we go. We're going to tie that in. We're going to hold our hackle pretty much at a 90 degree when we're securing it. 2, 3. Now we're going to go about 3 in front. Very tight to it. Now it pinched it together. Now take your poke and snip cuticle trimmer. Put that on there. And you get a nice clean cut on your knot. Now there's still a couple of them that are kind of sticking out there a little bit towards the front. See those on that side there. So I'm going to go ahead and take the half hitch tool. I'm going to give it a double half hitch once, twice. Then I roll it so it keeps the thread tight. And we're going to push that hackle back just a little bit. Once, twice. And so there is 4 knots, once, twice, and it makes 6 knots, so you don't even need to do a whip finish on this. Just tug that tight. We'll go ahead and trim that. I'm going to find the best spot to get my brush in there. That looks like around here. I'm going to clean my brush off pretty well. And we'll get that head cement right in there. There we go. Got a little bit on that hackle there. You could just wipe that off. And here we have a Sturgis olive badger. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors. Let them know I sent you. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. If you'd like to purchase this or any flies that I make, go to etsy.com/shop/theflymanjim. And if you don't see it on my page, just send me a message and tell me what you want, and we'll figure it out from there. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.